Hi everyone, hello, how are you doing? So welcome to another video of chapter 9 control and coordination. In previous video we talked about the pituitary gland and the different types of hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. In this video we will be talking about the pineal, thyroid and parathyroid gland. Let's begin with the pineal gland. This is one of the smallest gland in the endocrine system. Okay, it is located in the dorsal side of the forebrain, that is the back side of the forebrain. You see over here. Okay, a very small sized pea-sized gland, okay, which is located at the back side of the forebrain. It secretes a hormone known as melatonin hormone. Okay, it secretes a hormone known as melatonin hormone. What is this hormone doing? It helps in your sleep cycles. Okay, this melatonin hormone regulates your sleep. It regulates your 24 hours rhythm in the body, like also body temperature, sleep waves, wake cycle, etc. So as and when the evening starts and the sun is not there, so the darkness will cause your body to produce melatonin hormone, and that is how towards the end of the evening, towards the night, when the melatonin hormone is there in your body at a sufficient amount, then you start to fall asleep. Okay, along with the sleep wake cycle, melatonin also control your metabolic activities. See, when you sleep, your all your wear and tear of the body, your metabolic activities are functioning properly, and whatever the requirements are there, metabolic activities which needs to happen when your body is at rest, so that will take place. Also pigmentation, menstrual cycle and defense capability. Basically it helps in building your immune system. Also when you have sufficient amount of sleep, it makes your good metabolism good. It all the functional activities in your system are at good operating condition. Your immune system is good developed. So basically this is all because of the hormone which is secreted by the pineal gland, that is melatonin. Okay, so that's all with respect to the pineal gland. Moving to the next hormone, that is the thyroid gland. We are very much aware of the thyroid gland. Okay, it is located on the trachea, as you see, fleshy edge-shaped structure on the trachea. It is one of the largest endocrine gland. Okay, it is the largest endocrine gland. They are composed of these cells which are known as follicular cells. So this is how the follicular cells look like, or they are also known as C cells. As you see over here, these cells, they have these blood capillaries in between. These are the thyroid follicles or the thyroid cell, and in between you have these empty cavities. Okay, the thyroid gland produces two hormones, T4 and T3. T4 tetraiodothyronine, or another name is thyroxine, and T3 triiodothyronine. Okay, T4 tetra, T3 tri, and iodothyronine is the same word. Yes, so the thyroid gland is responsible for production of these two important hormones. And for the production of this hormone, for the thyroid gland to function properly, an important mineral nutrient, which is iodine, is very, very important. So, so a vital element which is iodine required for thyroid hormone synthesis. So your T4 and T3 will be synthesized in sufficient amount if you have sufficient amount of iodine in your system. If there is low amount of iodine in your body, what will happen? You will suffer from diseases like hyperthyroidism called goiter. Okay. Sorry, hypothyroidism called goiter. Hypo means less amount of thyroid hormone, which will lead to goiter. Okay. Another function of the thyroid gland is to majorly regulate your metabolic activity in your body. Okay, metabolism can be stimulated by protein synthesis and promoting growth of the body tissues. So these are the functions, these are the activities that is controlled and governed by the thyroid gland. Also, the thyroid gland is responsible for thermoregulation, protein synthesis, for growth of the body, for thermoregulation, increasing heat production. Increasing what? Heat production. It also increases the action of neurotransmitters, which is adrenaline and non-adrenaline. These are your fight and flight hormones. Fight or fright. This is fight or flight hormones. Okay, so even they are sorry, this is FIGHT, fighting or fear hormones. Okay? So even their secretion is more or less dependent upon your thyroxine hormone. Okay? Thyroxine hormone is produced by thyroid gland. This is basically your T4. Also, another function of thyroid gland is production of RBC, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance, reproductive cycles in females. So, do you see so many activities, so many functions is covered by the thyroid gland? Also, the calcium level in your body, in your blood, is maintained by the hormone which is produced by the another part of the thyroid gland, which are your parafollicular cells. This hormone is known as calcitonin. It regulates your calcium metabolism. So almost every important function of your important activity of your body is controlled by this thyroxine hormones and hormones of the thyroid gland. Okay, so its deficiency or too much production can lead to severe disease condition in our system. Okay, so as you see during pregnancy, if there is less amount of thyroid gland, so it can affect the growth of the baby. The mental condition of the baby can be affected. Okay, like low intelligence quotient, low IQ, abnormal skin, deafness. Okay, all these symptoms can be seen if the pregnant woman is secreting low amount of thyroid gland. In adult woman, if the thyroid gland is not sufficient, it can cause irregular menstrual cycle to happen. Okay. Then, if there is an increased production of thyroid gland, so too much of the hormone and too less of the hormone, both are detrimental and can cause disease condition. So the hormones need to be secreted in sufficient amount. So if too much hormone is secreted, then it can cause to increase in the secretion of the thyroid hormone can lead to hyperthyroidism. Decrease in secretion is hypo and increase is hyper. So hyper can lead to condition like exophthalmic goiter, okay, which is enlargement of the thyroid gland. Yeah, the thyroid gland enlarges to a very significant size. Then the eyeballs are produced, as you see in the image, protrusion of the eyeballs, increased basal metabolic rate. The metabolic activities is increased to the highest. And that is why, because of the high metabolism, the weight loss is tremendous. So the person starts losing weight on a very significant scale. Okay. This is also known as the Graves' disease. Yeah. When there is too much of thyroid gland which is secreted in the body by the thyroid gland. So this is the chart that gives you a detailed picture, a picture which tells you what are the symptoms of the hypothyroidism. Okay, when low amounts of thyroids are secreted, for example, thinning of the hair, loss of eyebrow, thyroid gland is enlarged, face is swollen, puffy face, dry and coarse skin, slow heartbeat, poor appetite, infertility or irregular menstrual cycle, uh, you know, altered metabolic activities which can lead to constipation and digestive problems, cold sensitivity and swelling of the limbs. Okay. Then carpal tunnel syndrome, that is numbing of the uh, fingers and feet. Then the thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid hormone. So weight gain, poor memory, intolerance to cold, feeling of tiredness. These are some of the major functions if there is hyperthyroidism. What will happen if there is a hyperthyroidism? Again, hair loss, bulging of the eyes, enlarged thyroid gland again, frequent sweating, enlarged liver in case of hyperthyroidism, abnormal heart rate. Okay, here it was low because the basal metabolic rate is very low and appetite is also poor. Here there is increased appetite. You feel more hungry. Here you feel less hungry. Your heart rate is very abnormal. Again, irregular menstruation, vomiting or diarrhea. Okay, hand tremors, excessive production of the thyroid hormone. So these are some of the important major hyperthyroidism symptoms. Nervousness, heat intolerance, sleeplessness, vision problem, irritability, and all that stuff. Okay, you need to remember a few of these symptoms in both the cases, that is hypo and hyperthyroidism. Moving to the another backside of the thyroid gland. So when you turn the thyroid gland, you have these on the backside, you have these four special types of cells. So this is the front view of the thyroid gland. This is the back view of the thyroid gland. Okay, they are known as parathyroid gland. Okay, they secrete an hormone, this parathyroid, they secrete a peptide hormone which is known as parathormone. What is known as parathormone? What do they do? They maintain the proper calcium level and phosphate level in your blood. Okay, their main function is to maintain proper sufficient amount of calcium and phosphate level in the blood. Also, they help in formation of bone because calcium regulation is there, and excretion of calcium and phosphate. If excess of calcium and phosphate is there, then they will get rid of it, excrete it out. Also, effect on intestinal absorption of calcium, phosphate, and vitamin D. So basically, mostly they regulate the calcium levels in your body, less or more. So regulation will happen. Okay. Now, what will happen if there is normal calcium level in the blood? Okay. So this hormone, which is known as calcitonin and parathormone, which is secreted by the parathyroid gland. Okay. Now, if there is high calcium level in the blood, if there is high calcium level in the blood, the thyroid hormone will secrete calcitonin hormone, not thyroid, basically the parathyroid one, will secrete this hormone known as calcitonin. High calcium level, let's say you have more type of food which are high in calcium, so obviously there will be more calcium in your blood. Now this calcium level needs to be brought to the normal level, so the extra needs to be adjusted somewhere. So that adjustment will be brought about by this calcitonin hormone. It will tell the bones to take calcium ion, so it will stimulate the calcium deposition in the bones. Calcitonin will trigger the bone to take calcium ion and make the bone more stronger. It will tell the kidneys to reduce calcium uptake in kidneys. Okay. Then it will tell the intestine to reduce calcium uptake in the intestine. And all the calcium can be then used to deposit on the bone structure. So what will happen? There will be, excess will be absorbed in the bones, and there will be normal calcium level in the blood. Okay. Now what will happen if there is low calcium in the blood? If there is low calcium in the blood, then if there is low calcium levels, this parathyroid hormone will release parathormone. The thyroid hormone in the previous case was secreting calcitonin. Now the parathyroid gland will secrete of the thyroid gland. Obviously, it is part of the thyroid gland only, but to be more specific, in the previous case, the thyroid gland will secrete calcitonin, and here the parathyroid gland of the thyroid gland will secrete the parathormone. They will do what? They will now trigger the bone to release calcium because calcium level is less in the blood. So there should be a normal calcium level which should be maintained in the blood. So if it is too much, the bone will take the calcium from the blood. If it is too less, the bone will release calcium from the blood, from the bones. Calcium is released. Then the kidneys will increase calcium uptake in the kidneys. Okay. Then the intestine will try to calcium uptake will be increased. Okay. From the food, the intestine will try to increase the absorption of the calcium from the food. The kidneys will try to, preserve the calcium or retain the calcium from the filtrate, from the fluid, excretory fluid. And all this calcium will then be directed towards the blood to maintain the normal amount of calcium in the blood. Then this is when the calcium level is too low. And when it was too high, the bone was taking the extra calcium. The kidneys and the intestine were told by the calcitonin that you don't absorb so many calcium ion from the food or from the filter. Okay, so let it go like that. Moving to the next gland, which is the thymus gland. So the thymus gland is located in the center over here, you see, okay, over here, enclosed in the lungs. The location is in between the lungs behind the sternum. An important role is development of the immune system. Thymus is very, very important for development of the immune system. Okay. T cells, remember the T cells and the B cells when we were talking about in the circulation chapter, the immune cells. So the immune cells which are developed in the thymus, they are known as T cells. They secrete an hormone known as thymosin. And this thymosin, it participates in the cell-mediated immunity. Okay, and also it helps in the production of antibodies. So more or less, bottom line is it helps in maintaining your immune system. It maintains or it makes your immune system stronger by secreting this hormone known as thymosin. Okay, so you need to remember this one or two function of the thymus gland. That's all for this video. In the next video, we will be talking about the adrenal gland, the different parts of the adrenal gland and the different hormones of the adrenal gland. Till then, take care, keep revising. Thank you. See you in the next video.